We're here to talk more about dealing with the loss and the impact Kobe Bryant left behind is Pastor Miles McPherson from the Rock Church. Pastor McPherson, Kobe, not the first sports legend to die too soon, but his impact is, he connected with the common man, say, more than some of these other athletes. Why? What was that about? Can you describe that connection and why we all feel this big hurt today? At least so many of us.
20 years of doing things no one's ever done, going from high school to the pros and being a star immediately. Winning championships, MVPs, most valuable player. But you know, he was a great dad, and we always see pictures of him and his girls and his family, and how he was coaching his kids, picking his kids up from school, taking his kids to school. So though he was bigger than life, he was still a dad, very committed to that, and people connected with that with him, connected with his Mamba mentality. Everybody wants that. You know, we want to be the best ever, and do things no one's ever done, and that's what Kobe was about.
I'm sure you get questions when tragedy strikes families and communities like this of why, how could this possibly happen to such a person that was making such a great impact, and how can we cope with that? What do you share with your church community and members of how to deal with this?
As you know, it's tragic, and no, we never want anyone to die, but we are all going to die. And everybody's now saying our thoughts and prayers are with you. And I think when we say that, we should pause and think about what we're saying. Your thoughts and prayers are nothing but wishful thinking unless they cause you to do something. And so when you think something, you're thinking it to actually do something, feel better, or change your action. And you're praying because you believe there's a God who can answer you. Because if you're praying to a God that doesn't exist, you're senile, you're crazy. So we're praying to a God that we believe can comfort us, can give us wisdom and insight. We live in a very destroyed, fallen, evil world, and that's why we hurt, and because we know something wrong happened. So we go to a God that we believe can comfort us. My challenge is, one, start hugging the people that are in your life, and make sure all the broken relationships you have, it's not worth it, because one day it's going to be over and it won't mean anything. Hug your kids, hug your family, make sure you know who your friends are, but also make sure you know who your God is. I mean, don't come to God only when you hurt, because we don't want people to come to us only when we hurt. We should go to God every day. Pray to him every day, seek wisdom from him every day, strength every day on how to deal with the conflicts every day. We have problems that are small. This is the biggest problem we'll ever face. But we have problems every day. And what if we went to God every day with our thoughts and prayers and asked him to guide and direct us? So I hope that this tragedy would help us rethink our life, how we're progressing through life, how we're conducting our relationships, our businesses, our time. Instead of just letting this pass, you know, in a month from now we'll be talking about something else. And let's not let Kobe's legacy go down like that, where he was someone who did something great in basketball. Let's pray that this changes our lives and our culture forever.
And yet, my thoughts just immediately go to his wife, who must be saying over and over again, why?
Yeah.
How do you answer? I imagine in your vocation, the hardest question is why.
You know, I don't know why. There was fog, there was a helicopter, who knows what happened. You can't, some of those questions you'll never answer. The question is, now what? And how do I respond? I mean, all the things that have happened in our lives we can't explain this side of heaven. And sometimes it's not ours to know, but what are we going to do with it? And, you know, we need to pray for her and her daughters and her families. It's tragic. You know, I watched both my parents die. And it was tragic, but it's going to happen, and so we need to face that it's going to happen, and we never like it, and it's tragic. I mean, I was heartbroken. I was driving to the airport yesterday, leaving town, and my heart just went in my throat. I couldn't believe it, but the question is, what are we going to do about it?
When I mean, obviously, you looked up to Kobe. He inspired so many of us for different reasons. What was it for you that Kobe did that really spoke to you as, wow, this is a person who's doing great things?
Man, I think something I saw him say today, it was on a video. They said, what do you want to be remembered as? And he said, I want to be remembered as a guy who never wasted a day and never wasted a moment. He was intense, beyond intense. I grew up on Michael Jordan, so Kobe was after Michael Jordan, so Michael Jordan was, that guy before Kobe, and then Kobe came. Whether one's better than the other doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter, right? But they're both great, and they all have their own brand. But he was very intense, and it inspired me to be very intense about everything I do. Give your best. Don't take days off. In a sense, every day has to have a meaning, and that inspired me. Of course, him winning basketball games, but it's how he did it. His discipline in getting to that point, his ruthlessness in getting to that point is just inspiring. That's what I loved about him.
Yeah.
We should mention as we conclude this interview, Miles also wore the number 24, so you have that in common.
A lot of us little common people wore 24.
All right, Miles.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Miles. Appreciate you coming
for taking
in
time out of your
this
busy
morning.
day to share with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.